Welcome back, guys, to the Nerdattude movie podcast. I'm here with Matt and Alex. This is another episode where Anthony is not with us. He's currently chopping down trees for the blind, armless, and legless. Man,
they need firewood
God's
and
work.
heat too. I mean, that's his slogan. When we'll make jokes. You know,
don't have any hands to rub together.
Yeah,
You gotta have
can't,
something.
Yeah, you can't use hand warmers if you don't have hands.
You can't tuck them under your armpits.
And
You can't do it.
I just think of these poor, no-limbed, one-legged people sitting by a cold, lifeless fire, and then Anthony kicks in the door like the Brawny Man with a cart, I guess, full of logs.
So we're here with.
Hold on, I just want to say, I'm pretty sure the clip I'm going to use is Chris Evans ripping the logs in half. I'm just going to put his face on it. His editor's note.
We're here with three movies. Not so much Christmas; they're in the Christmas vein, but these are the New Year's.
Well,
movies.
you're watching this on New Year's Eve. Why would you want Christmas movies?
Yeah,
That's true.
Christmas is done after this.
We're done. It's over. Fuck it. I'm disappointed.
It's a Christmas. So December is
I didn't get what I
primarily the
wanted.
Christmas month. Like,
Yeah, I
all
didn't
the
get
other
what I
holidays
wanted.
just
Because every year I just want world peace.
Well, you know, that doesn't even make me angry. You know what makes me angry is when Thanksgiving rolls around. Like, it's Thanksgiving. People are like, Christmas started. No, it's Thanksgiving.
So this is one of the very first years that Christmas did start around Thanksgiving here.
Really?
We're late to put our trees up, but like the music was playing as soon as the light started playing it, and you know, yeah. Since like November 15th, it's been Christmas basically.
Oh, that's too early.
Yeah, I'm a little burnt out. I mean, I don't know. It's, you know.
My wife
Everybody
loves
here-
Christmas, and it's a solid Black Friday is when it starts. You can start all that shit.
Yeah, I'd
Put up
agree.
whatever
I'd
you
agree.
want.
That's the proper that's when like the soul of Thanksgiving. Although some people would say Thanksgiving is, you know, not a proper celebration. So I don't know.
Everybody was fighting me to put the tree up before Thanksgiving. I kept saying no. I'm sticking to it this year. Last year I let them put it up the day after Halloween because everybody was kind of down.
Jesus.
Well, everybody wasn't feeling, you know, because it was lockdown and shit. And
If I could, I would have a Christmas tree that was nothing but like the fibers and everything would be RGB, and I would just put it behind me and create and fucking just. I mean, that would be cool. I think that'd be neat.
yeah, it also cost about $1,000.
Yeah, I'm not saying I have the money to do it, despite my fancy $52 Amazon watch. Back to the movie.
And I know on that note, Snowpiercer. So we're gonna start with our first movie, Snowpiercer. This movie came out in. I closed the app. God,
2013?
2014, July
Really?
2014. Yeah.
IMDb.
Oh yeah,
I thought
it opened June 29th in 2014 in U.S. and Canada. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Budget was about 39 million, if you believe IMDb.
I'm gonna say this. That's a high budget for an indie flick that didn't do that well.
It did, but I imagine
Worldwide?
most of the budget went to CG.
And Chris Evans.
What did
That's
they make
true.
worldwide?
86 million, which that's a flop.
I mean,
They
technically,
they were budgeted 39. They made 86 million.
Tech-
Don't you have to do
Technically-
2.5? 2.5?
no, that's old school marketing budgets. That's different. I mean, this movie being a smaller release because it's an Asian release, didn't have the marketing push behind it. So this probably did make some money back. I mean, 40 million is what it cost. 86 bringing in. I mean, even if you doubled, let's say, the budget for marketing, which I doubt they put $40 million into marketing, you'd still technically be making $6 million.
That's true.
They only
that's
made
true.
4.5 in U.S. and Canada. Everything else was made overseas.
And this a Korean movie, right? Or a Korean director, or is it?
Yeah, I believe it's a Korean director. Oh my god. Yeah, Bong Joon-ho.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah. And you know what's funny when you look at the team on this movie, a lot of these actors, not the Asian actors, a lot of the American actors or British actors appear in Asian movies. I see a lot of them in Asian movies.
Well, here's the unknown, or not the unknown. Here's the unspoken truth, right? People aren't going to like to hear it. Specifically the Chinese theater-going market, but the Asian theater-going market likes white male actors. That's why Matt Damon is in a movie of Chinese descent as a paleface.
The Wall,
yes.
The Wall movie, right? Yeah.
That is why China and places like that are the people that still go nuts for Tom Cruise, and if they can get a high-profile white actor, they go for it. That's why even in movies that have big, like, that's why recently, what was it, Mulan?
Yeah.
And that was, half funded by the Chinese-backed company. Like, there was another movie that was released that had a character that was traditionally Asian, and they cast a white person, but it was in a Chinese-funded movie. The truth is, they like American actors. In their movies, they want the American actors, and that's why you see movies like this that have this high profile of, Chris Evans, John Hurt, which, by the way, I'm moving John Hurt into the category of only fucking plays John Hurt. I'm sorry, but this is always John Hurt. Ever since the movie 1984, this is how he's acted. It's the same fucking character. V for Vendetta.
Yes.
Same fucking character. 1984. So Hellboy, same fucking character. Since he was 45, he's been just playing John Hurt.
He has, yeah.
Which is okay. I like him, but you know.
To me, he was the doctor, the war doctor.
The war doctor. Yeah.
From what?
He was the war doctor from Doctor Who.
Oh yeah,
he was the war doctor.
Not a Doctor Who person. I don't know if you guys have a name for the fans. The Doctor Whoers, maybe.
Whovians.
The Whoers.
Yeah,
I call them
the
Whoers.
The Whoers.
They're Whoers. The Doctor Whoers. Come on, you little Whoers. Let's go get your
Chris
wands.
Evans in this movie, it came out in 2014, right? This one did.
Made in probably 2012.
It was made in 2013.
When did Fantastic Four come out?
Oh gosh, that was early, like 2002, I want to say.
It was, right?
Yeah, the original Fantastic Four had Michael Chiklis in it. It's been a while.
And then Captain America.
Captain
2007.
America? For what?
2005 it came out. Fantastic.
And Captain America was when? 07?
Captain America, First Avenger.
Or 09?
11.
2011. So,
oh, wow.
So,
okay,
yeah,
I thought that was after this.
But here's the thing. This might have been a movie that was filmed before and then shelved.
Oh,
because that happened with Cabin in the Woods.
You're right.
They filmed that like 4 years prior, and then it got shelved. Then he came out in Thor, and it was like Cabin in the Woods, Chris Hemsworth movie coming.
Okay.
One of his other greatest roles
coattails
was Scott Pilgrim, where he was Lucas Lee.
Oh, I love that. Yes.
That whole movie. There is not a single goddamn frame of that movie that I dislike.
It's great. It's amazing.
And in 4K,
it
fucking yes, it looks nuts.
Amazing.
Sounds good too.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's the only 4K movie I own. So.
Scott Pilgrim is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's like there's just between the humor and the action and the spectacle. Like it is one of those movies. It's an actual spectacle.
Yeah.
You and I are on the same. We'll have to review that, but I think Lewis has to be in on that one.
Oh yeah.
We should do Scott Pilgrim and another Edgar Wright movie.
Yes. So this movie takes place post-apocalyptic.
Alex, did you have a thought?
I was gonna say my least favorite movie of his was Cellular.
See, my least favorite of his was what was that? Push.
Yeah.
Where literally they talk about this power, and the whole result is he shakes the scaffolding. It's like, cool.
I think was it Chris Evans? Is it Sunlight? I think it was.
Oh yeah, with the dude.
He was in there, right? Yeah, he played
the guy who plays the Scarecrow. Cillian Murphy, Sunshine.
Yeah, Sunshine.
Where they're on the
I do
the
love
ship.
that movie.
That movie's got a weird, like that movie has the same vibe as 28 Days Later, but doesn't have the horror. It's a weird vibe in that movie.
It is. I know it's strange, but he is in that movie.
Which
and he plays.
You said. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He plays a role where he also plays a role where he dies. It's great.
Yeah.
Spoiler: he dies.
So you're talking about the guy who played Scarecrow.
Cillian Murphy.
He was also in 28 Days Later.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I said that was because 28 Days Later was directed by the same guy as Sunshine.
Okay.
Oh, that makes sense then, because it also has that like the way it's filmed, that kind of.
I can't remember his
vibe to
name
it,
right
yeah.
now, but yeah, he directs both those movies. I mean, I think 28 Days, the 28 Days and Weeks Later is probably one of the greatest refreshing takes on the zombies in a while. I mean, I love the Dawn of the Dead remake, but when you're talking like a different way to do it, where they really treat it as a virus, pretty good.
Yeah, they do a really good job, and the zombies run in that one, so I'm happy with it.
They don't run.
They do run.
No, they don't run. They fucking.
They fly.
They fly through the air, dude. Motherfuckers are so fast.
So this movie takes place post-apocalypse. The world's ending. Well, the world doesn't end. They try. It's a global warming movie, guys. Let's just be honest. They try and save the Earth from global warming and end up freezing it with a chemical
with
that they
more
put
chemicals in the air.
Yeah, they throw a chemical in the air and it freezes the hell out of it. That's just the reality of it. Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I guess if you had current political figures going on in power, maybe they would do something that's fucking stupid. Hey, yeah, I know. We give the grass electrolytes. It's all it needs, right?
And
it's that sort of thought process.
It's what plants crave.
Yeah, it's what plants crave.
The plot is that they a billionaire philanthropist builds a train that can go around the world and houses basically humanity until
all right.
the remainder
so
of humanity.
So the
the
storyline does borderline late Resident Evil movies level of stupid.
That's in my notes. I was like, man, I put Resident Evil ? Like, yeah.
By the way, I bought the whole collection, and I'm having such a struggle getting through the last one. Like, I was even okay with the sixth one because it at least had over the top, bloody, violent action. And this one's just goddamn ridiculous. Like, it literally starts you off in the middle of something that's been going on that didn't happen in the other movies. It's like, I know when you last left, everything seemed like it was going to be bright, but since then, and you don't get to see it, the whole world's been fucked. Like, so yeah. Anyways, sorry.
But I know you say that, Matt, and I will say I'd rather watch that last one than Welcome to Raccoon City.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That bad?
It is that bad. It is let me put it this way: the director, and I'm a huge Resident Evil fan. The director's like, there's no difference between Claire and Jill, so why put the effort in there?
So you mean two characters that have had their own games? No difference.
No difference.
We're just gonna cram them all in.
Yeah. No difference.
I will say, I am disappointed that Barry has not made a. Does he come back in the final movie at all?
In Welcome to Raccoon City?
No, in Resident Evil 7.
In Resident Evil 7?
Because he's in number 6 for the first time, and he's played by an actor I actually like. And I was like, who the fuck is that vest? Is that Barry? And I was like, okay, I like him.
I can't remember the last fucking Resident Evil I watched.
Man, I bought them all, and I'm going to try to watch them all with Jen, because I do, even the ones that are bad, except for the last one thus far, even the ones that are bad are good for if you want to just throw on a movie with dumb zombie violent action. Those are great movies because I'm one of those people. I like the Death Race remake, which is directed by Paul Thomas Anderson as well, or Paul whatever Anderson that directs the Resident Evil movies. So he's got an eye for explosive action. So like when in his shootout scenes, as stupid as they may be, there's at least entertainment value in the absurdity of the action. The last one though, it does not have any of that. Like I'm not fulfilled by any action scene yet. I'm only halfway through though.
Not only that, he's remained for a video game to the fans. There are faithful characters that you can point out.
Well, not only that, but it progresses. Like by movie 4, I think 4 or 5, they start doing the from Resident Evil floor split heads. Mm-hmm. He doesn't whether I mean they're not always accurate to the characters in the games, but he's encompassed Claire and Jill and the Asian chick, I can't remember her name. Like they've all been in the movies. Like Barry, Wesker, like they're there. The problem with it is they're there as like Michelle Rodriguez is like, she's been dead since the first one. Guess what? She's back, kiddos, and she's gonna kick ass. And then she's literally the final boss of number 6. It's just, it gets a little, Huh. So we weren't talking about that. But
brings us back to Snowpiercer.
But if you can understand the absurdity of the Resident Evil like later movie storylines, it's the same kind of like this is stupid. I know it is. It's not bad. It's just stupid. I get that.
And this movie, you start off in the back of the train where all the poor people are, and I don't understand why they're there. And
you mean as in why would you leave poor people alive? Like why wouldn't you just abandon them?
Yeah, and like
that's pretty cold.
He says it.
Spoiler alert, yes, for children, but all the rich people, he never said that the rich people couldn't have kids in the front of the train.
No, are you asking how they got on the train?
No, not how they got on the train. Why are they there?
They kept them?
Yeah, like why? Like,
why not just murder them all because they're a drain on the entire train society?
Because he never mentions in the movie that the higher up society at the front of the train can't have kids. That was never the concept. And you see kids in the higher society.
Mm-hmm.
So why spend all this time, all this money, and all this energy on keeping these people in the back of the train?
I mean, you know, I don't. First off, Hitler. What you're saying is exterminating the poor. Essentially, in this situation, exterminating them completely, leaving them in the wasteland and waving outside and being like, wow, it's much roomier in here. That's cold. I mean, I guess the whole thing is, and maybe they don't go into it, but is the concept at some point you start picking out from the poor and breeding them to make humanity, you know what I mean? Like, is that the idea? Do they treat them like they treated them back in the unfortunate slave days where they breed them to make more? Like, is that where you have generations of family being raised on a plantation? Like, is that the idea?
They needed people to work for them.
And that part I understood. Like, you know, they like when they took the old man from the wife, and you see him later on, and they start meeting people like, hey, you were taken away. You know, what the hell are you doing up here?
Mm-hmm.
I will also ask, like, why wasn't there more why isn't there a garden on the train? You're literally in steel boxes.
A garden?
Like, why wasn't there more of that? Like, why wasn't half the train... Like, if you're going to kill the poor, like, you're in steel boxes you can line with plastic sheeting and create humidity. Open up the top, sunshine's still coming through. In fact, because you've thinned the ozone, it's a very strong sun that would create a greenhouse effect. Like, theoretically, you could have entire boxcars full of produce being made.
And they only had, what was it, one?
Yeah, it was
just one car.
Like, yeah, it was like nothing. It just, it didn't make sense to me because I'm trying to, like, it's like this big, fancy bullet train. You got very limited resource. Why? They left
it all up to you to see. But when they showed the train from far away, the train was a lot fucking bigger than it showed.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah. Like I don't understand. Like,
so there had to have been more than multiple cars. It just like they're just leaving it up to you to say. They're just leaving it up to you saying, you know what, you know that it's there.
So is that all just lead to the idea of like, even though that's, I mean, because the problem I guess I have with that is then you have to automatically assume that all of the rest of those boxcars, if they are being hoarded by the rich, because the poor aren't getting them. So that is a weird that's a weird idea. I don't know. Like, I don't like the ambiguousness of that. I kind of feel like in my head, and it does go to the fact of the silliness and the holes in the story, but it's just kind of like, you got that big of a fucking train. How come there isn't more resource cars? Like Giovanni's idea. Mm-hmm. You need some space. There's a door. We don't need them. They're not, I mean, but once again, you do need them because they're the workers, because the rich people aren't going to lift their fingers.
Right. And I think from the beginning, he knew that, because who knows how long they were actually taking the kids to do these jobs, because they there's a history of them taking kids and stuff. And
how long are they on the train at this point? I don't remember.
17 years.
17 years, yeah. And he did say that the machinery to do what the kids do went out, but I don't think he says how long ago it went out. So I don't know how long they were taking kids.
I do kind of find this movie funny in that it's a climate change movie, but they're literally like, and then we over-scienced it. But basically what they're saying is we did too much science and ruined it more.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like when you're cooking, and it's like there's not enough salt in this, and you put some and they go, God damn it, now there's too much fucking salt. Like, it's that weird, like, that's what they did, and they ruined the earth.
You know how we fix it? We just add more stock.
Or butter. I mean, if you're really going fat.
Well, butter's got salt in it.
No, I don't get. I get no non-salted sweet cream.
The scene where they're shooting each other
in the turn, or
in the turn, yeah.
Okay.
Is a kind of a cool
that
scene,
was
though.
the scene. It was a badass scene, but I was like, that's where I was like, okay, they can go outside.
Yeah, it's not like insta death if you go out.
Yeah.
Because the cold air coming through with how cold it should have been wouldn't have killed somebody, but it should have hurt. Like one of them should have reacted.
Hanging out of it at any point, going the speeds of the train, should have been almost instant can't feel.
Yeah.
Or instant my hand is stuck to the gun.
Yeah.
You know, it's metal. Your hand has moisture and oils.
Well,
especially when
the
you're eating
glass,
cockroaches and shit all day.
The glass wasn't completely shattering. It was getting fractured. It was getting, but it wasn't like blown out.
I also like
there was a pressurized thing. I like the pressurizing thing that when the first hit it did pressurize and.
I mean, and that's the other thing, right? Like, does the rich people who created this train and own it, do they have the right to, like, do they have to keep the poor people on there? Like, not to be cold, but like, is their survival their responsibility? Because right now, whether they treat them
their way on the train,
whether they treat them like shit or not and use them for slave labor, these people are still alive because of this train.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird idea of like, yeah, they're pieces of shit because they use them as slave labor, but if it wasn't for their train, you'd be dead already.
Yeah, that's very true. And the one thing, to Matt's point, we were talking about this before we started. This movie's slow. Man, is it slow. And it sucks because the portions of action and the backstories do make this movie pretty interesting. Like Chris Evans' character, when you get to the end, talks about his backstory, and you find out he's really a bad guy. He talks about being a cannibal and hating that he liked it. I thought that was badass. I was like, that's really cool
too.
Yeah. And then you have the security guy and his daughter who are addicted to this chemical, and they think they're junkies the whole time until you get to the end and you're like, oh shit, this is why you've been collecting this shit.
Yeah.
Like the little bits of
they're
story,
still junkies, but they're
the little bits of story in this movie. I think this movie would have been awesome as like a series.
Well, they made a series out of it, but
they do have a series of it. Yeah,
it doesn't look interesting to me.
No, it was not good. I did watch it. It was not. Yeah, it was not good.
I mean, that's the classic, but that's the other thing is like once you already do away with the material you have, right? It's hard to create more if you don't have from out of nothing.
Yeah.
Is like that's the problem with stretching the concept to a series, is at a certain point it either needs to come to a conclusion and give you a result or it fades away. And I don't know if they wrapped it up or if it just is it still going?
Ending.
Yeah,
ending?
it's
Okay.
over
It's
with.
gonna end. Yeah.
Are we ready to give our hot dogs?
Yes, I will say before we start, did anybody get the feeling that every time Chris Evans fought in this movie, you wanted to see a shield just come at him? I got that feeling pretty hard.
He's
Or
got
the hammer.
The funny thing is, Captain America and Batman very much hit the same.
Yeah.
Like with the how much weight they put behind the blows. Like Captain America is a lot like Batman, where his hits like have a certain thump. Like if you ever listen, if you ever hear the sound effects too, they're actually kind of close to each other. Being different universes, it's a little weird.
I did want to say something that it was pretty fucking crazy about the teacher. The teacher cart.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Not only that, she's pregnant too. So you were talking about they just saying that they could have babies.
Yep.
She was pregnant.
Mm-hmm. And they
then
killed her, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Giovanni, pretty cool, man. Pretty cool.
I'm just saying, it was a cool scene. I was not expecting that. Just
All right, Giovanni, what's your stars?
okay. I do like this movie because I'm a sci-fi fan. I do like the concept of it. It was super slow though. Like, and the points where it tried to catch you with the action and the backstories just wasn't enough. They were quicker passing than the movie itself in its slowness. So this is a 2.5 for me. Yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed the concept of it, but it was just it didn't do enough to keep my attention long enough.
I'm with you, 2.5, and it goes back to when I even first watched this movie. It's just I was very much looking forward to it because the concept's neat and everything, but it is a slow fucking movie. Like to get to the end, like because they build it up from the beginning where he tells you, I'm not a good guy, blah blah blah. To go from the beginning to that and get to the end where it explains why everything, it's a fucking slow journey. Like, and I think part of it is because it's such a limited setting. Like you can only be on the train in the movie. You know what I mean? It's like
That's true.
And unless you're doing shit like in Speed, where you're going back to this villain who's here, and then being on one solace, it's even that movie. What is it? Murder on the Midnight Express or whatever the fuck it was. Even that movie, they end up getting off the train at one point and like walking around. So 2.5 simply because it's slow. It's not a terrible movie. It's just it's good on the sci-fi, but it's that sci-fi that borderline silly as well.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. I'm actually going to give it a 3. The only thing I am going to question is this guy really 17 years old? Because he's supposed to be 17.
Yeah, no.
Look at his face.
Like his 5 o'clock shadow that like literally since we started the review, he's grown a beard.
No, but I like the action. I like how the people are just like some of them are not recognizable. Like the one behind Giovanni's head, the girl.
Mm-hmm.
What's her name? Tilda Swinton.
Yeah, Swinton. She actually is. She's in Constantine. She plays Gabriel.
Yeah.
Yeah. The angel. Yeah.
Yep.
She gets punched pretty hard at the end. It's great.
I love the end of that movie where fucking the devil's just like, I don't want to deal with you. You're gonna survive. Yeah. That's basically what happens. The devil's like, I don't want you down there fucking with me. Like here, you're healthy. Your lungs are renewed, which is the saddest part because they set it up for a sequel. And
he wants to do a sequel.
Made one.
But
can he cut his fucking hair? I'm tired of John Wick. Okay, I want Neo. I want clean cut fucking Keanu Reeves. I'm tired of long haired hippie Reeves. I like Keanu. I love him. No more hippie look.
Did anybody else notice who Andrew was? The guy who lost his arm, the had lost his kid too.
Who was it?
He was in Trainspotting. He's the guy who shits himself in Trainspotting.
Oh, the guy that put his arm out in this one.
Yeah.
And they froze his arm and then shattered it.
And there was a couple of other ones that he was in that I recognized him from, but it's just like off, like made for TV type shit. But I like the guy's work and shit. But 3 for me, and I don't know what else.
Nothing. We'll be right back.
All right, so we're back with our second movie of the night. It is another train movie. It is also a New Year's movie.
It is another train movie.
Seriously, didn't even make that connection until you just said it. Yeah. Never in my mind was I like, there's 2 train movies until you just said it. My God, what has happened to me? Like literally, you said it. I'm like, right? They're both on trains. How did I not get that earlier? My God.
Both take place around New Year. It is called Money Train. It is from the year 1995.
So this is what 2 years pre-Blade.
Yeah, it is.
It's how long?
2 or 3 years after
Demo Man.
After no. I'm talking about the buddy movie.
Oh, White Man Can't Jump.
White Man Can't Jump.
So when Demo Man was like 96, right? I think he did this, and then Demo Man was 96, and then Blade was like 97, or was Blade 99 or 9? Might have been a little bit later.
Right, Demolition Man was...
He was jacked as shit in this movie, though.
Demolition Man was 93.
Wow, earlier than I thought. That movie still looks fucking great for 93. Holy shit. I'm going to go watch that this weekend.
Box office 159 million.
Oh, this movie made some money.
And then he did Drop Zone before he did Money Train too. Ooh.
Yeah, Drop Zone I knew was earlier. What about Passenger 57?
92.
Oh, that's an early one.
And
I thought that was later.
Same year, White Man Can't Jump. And then one of my favorites of his is New Jack City.
Yes, New Jack City is awesome.
Yeah.
Blade was 98.
98, okay. Blade is still one of the coolest fucking movies, man.
Yeah.
I remember in the theater when he hits him in the face with the stuff that makes him blow up, and my dad's just, oh, holy shit. Like, he's in the theater like, oh my God. Had no problem with violence, but God forbid Jennifer Lopez's nipple shoots out.
So there's 3 movies that these guys have been in together. Wildcats in 86, which is filmed here in Chicago, Lane Tech High School. White Man Can't Jump.
Lane Tech alum, whoop whoop.
Of course, this one, Money Train. There was a 4th movie that showed up, but when I looked it up, I don't recall either one of them being in the movie, and I can't remember the name, so I was just like, whatever, I'm going to forget about it.
Wow.
It's not important.
It's not important because it's not important because I was like, what the fuck is this?
Listen, this is what we edit out.
So this movie stars Wesley Snipes, of course.
Yes.
Woody Harrelson.
Yes.
And Jennifer Lopez.
Jennifer Love Lopez.
Not Jennifer Love Huge Tits, not that one.
Oh. Am I the only one that didn't give a shit about her? Like, I really didn't when she was popular. Like, I know that, isn't she also vegan too or something?
What
was the movie she was in that really shot her to the top?
Can't Hardly Wait?
Yes. There's that whole scene of she's sitting down and it's all supposed to be, and I'm just watching this like, bro, you could have done better. Like, I get it, she's the most popular, whatever, but like, you could have been with some chick that shared your interests, like treated you like you actually existed, and instead it's just like you're pining over her.
What's his name though, the actor?
Ethan Embry, right?
Yeah. Remember we were talking about it on I guess on one of your streams. She actually gave him like 50 mints because he was such a stoner that his breath smelled so bad of weed that she was like, before we do this next scene, you got to take these mints.
I don't get it. He plays kind of a stoner reject in the movie. Is a stoner. He doesn't, but he's not method acting. Daniel Day-Lewis can fucking act like he's Abraham Lincoln at the Starbucks on the way to the set. But, fucking Ethan Embry is what a fucking stoner. No, man, it's method. Like, I will say, though, it's got to be really hard to shoot, like, a comedy movie specifically if you smoke weed. Like, you better be filming a movie with Judd Apatow so he allows improvisation. Because, I don't think I could, like, go on set for a comedy high. Because it's just, how would you keep from, like, breaking out in laughter uncontrollably?
I'm sure he did a lot of ad-libbing when he was on Empire Records. That character he played there.
That whole cast was like, I feel like that entire cast was like getting high and having orgies at night. Like they were all in the relative age bracket. They were all young. Regular. Like who else are they? Like they're not fucking Tom Cruise. Like so that's in the same acting group. Like I just feel like it was just like, hey, you guys want to get drunk and have an orgy? And it's like you're not invited though. All right, cool. Everybody else, come on. And it's like the sound guy's like, what the fuck?
Liv Tyler was like, we can go to my dad's house. He's not home.
Yeah,
he's in rehab again.
Ooh, fucking Grandma Tyler. Seriously, the way he looks now is like when he sits down at the table, he goes, honey child, let me tell you something. Like that's how he looks right now.
He's got such a fucking wide, like I don't know how he gets that fucking smile. Like
but he's got like beads in his hair. He does look like he looks like the grandma that picks you up and it's like, yeah, that's my grandma. Like that's like it's like, hi grandma, I love you. Give your grandma a kiss. Like that's the type, like all like smoking a fucking Marlboro. Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss.
You gotta say it the right way. Now give me a kiss.
Give me a kiss. Yeah, he just walks up. Ow! It's like, grandma, please stop like, what if he goes on a field trip? He's like, come on, everybody, the wheels on the bus. And it's just like, grandma, please.
We don't have to make a song of everything.
Grandma, this is 11th grade. Please don't. He does.
In my day, we used to do this outside the window.
Yeah. You think I'm not cool now? I was doing cocaine off of hookers before you were swimming in your daddy's balls. It's just like, he's lost his mind.
Those lines on my face.
Yeah. I was throwing TVs out of hotels. It's like, we get it. You were fucking crazy. Like, you still look like an old lady now.
Oh, speaking of crazy, the villain in this is Robert Blake.
And he really is a fucking villain, too.
In this movie, and in real life, kind of probably.
Well, he is a murderer. He went to prison for it.
The guy who plays Torch, Chris Cooper, he's also in a lot of shit that we all know.
Chris Cooper, when he starts walking up the center of the escalators, I was like, what athleticism. Like, he's got grip.
I don't remember Chris Cooper, though. I don't remember seeing him as a villain in most movies I've seen him in. I don't remember him being a villain.
He has been in several. He's the villain in Me, Myself, and Irene.
Oh shit!
With Jim Carrey. There's been a couple where he comes out the bad guy. Like Chris Cooper's been in a lot of shit. If you ever want to watch a really good Chris Cooper movie, it also happens to be a Nicolas Cage movie, Adaptation. You've never seen it? It's where he plays the twins.
Yeah.
Which, have you guys seen that movie?
Yes.
The scene where he gets jettisoned out of the fucking car out of nowhere. Dude, I remember watching that. It was like 1 a.m. after I got home from Blockbuster, or after work, got home from work, and I was like, oh, he's really good. And then it's like, oh, man. Oh, he just
Mm-hmm.
He's dead. He just got shot out of the fucking car. What the fuck happened? Like, it was like, oh my God,
no,
I just shot what the fuck? No.
It was a what the fuck moment for sure.
No. Chris Cooper's an awesome actor.
He was also in The Patriot, which we covered.
He was the guy that recruits the son. Yeah. And he was his buddy that basically promotes Ben to high rank immediately back to his active status.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got that guy, and then there's a bunch of other people that
I don't remember his
Sopranos.
name. Yes, the sister.
The sister, Ida. Yeah, Ida Toretto.
Also, the dude who is like the other controller that really doesn't have any lines. His face I recognize. I don't remember what else I've seen him in. I know it's been a lot of stuff. But he's the one that's like, he doesn't have many lines. He talks to Robert Blake at one point. He's he's telling him to let the other train get rammed. He's like, they're gonna die. That guy is familiar too.
Yeah. One of the gamblers.
That guy also
Vincent
never
Astro.
ages.
Who was one of the gamblers?
Vincent Pastor.
Pastor, I think. Yeah.
What is he
from?
Yeah. One of the guy playing cards. That's is that Pussy or no? That's not Big Pussy. That's,
he is. Yeah, he was. He was Big Pussy.
Yeah. But dude, I gotta watch The Sopranos again now.
But what were you saying, Giovanni? About he doesn't.
The actor Matt was talking about, the one in the control room. That guy never ages.
He's always looked pretty good. Is it so? Yeah. Did he already did he just never look great, or is he just has he aged pretty well, or is he's looked like he's 45 since he was 20?
Yeah, like he just looks like he's 45 since he was 20.
You're talking about
who?
The guy is Skip.
Yeah, he's been in a bunch of shit too.
He kind of looks like Steve McMichael from I'm looking at his IMDb from the Bears.
Oh, somewhat. Yeah, he does look like a former coach of a football team. For real.
Okay, so we got and there's a bunch of other people that, but so they were budgeted for 68 million.
Ooh. How much did it make?
Worldwide, 35.4.
That's it?
Yeah.
Horrible.
They were trying to ride they were trying to ride the coattails of
White Man Can't Jump.
White Man Can't Jump. Yeah.
I would also argue this is definitely a ripoff of Speed's concept.
What was that? Is that
Speed?
before?
I think was like 94, wasn't it? Let me look that up. Hopefully the window doesn't open. Okay, open up on the right monitor.
94.
94. Oh, by the way, Giovanni, you're a car guy, right?
I like cars. I don't drive them much.
You watch the Grand You watched the Grand Tour?
Yes.
New episode just dropped.
Oh,
surprise! I had no fucking idea. Yeah, and I'm gonna watch it this week. I can't wait actually. My loins are tickling. That was a weird segue to silence.
On another side, basically what this movie's about is these two guys are Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson. They're foster brothers, and they're kind of like transit authority cops. They're police officers.
They're NYPD, but
they're in the transit area.
Yeah, that confused me a bit. I was like, wait, who's in charge of them?
Is it the guy? Unfortunately, these are the cops that like other cops. Like those aren't real cops. They're cops.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right. They still have a gun. They still get to do everything. So basically, what their whole spiel is Wesley Snipes is the good brother. He was the one that runs by the book. Yeah, he's not the fuck up. And Woody Harrelson was always like a gambler. He was always doing shit, and Wesley Snipes had to clean up his mess all the time.
I will say a concept also explored in Four Brothers. If you've ever seen that movie.
Yeah.
There was always the youngest was always the one that was kind of the fuck up, but they all had their own issues. But that's a movie we should review.
Four Brothers.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, I like that movie quite a bit. We should do a John Singleton day, with that and like Training Day.
Oh, yeah. Training Day.
I'm surgical with this bitch.
Am I the only one that preferred the edited version of the King when you hear the trailer when that movie was coming out, and it was like King Kong ain't got nothing, and you hear that, and they played the trailer came out for like 3 months or whatever before the movie did, so you heard that, and then it got to the movie, and he ain't got shit on me. For me as a kid, I was like, kind of like when he says nothing.
Because you were so used to it.
I just like the way it sounded better. That's what I was, in my brain was programmed. And I always like things like that in movies where it was an unedited. But in that case, I was kind of like, I always did miss my, like, I'm the guy from Running Scared. I want my 8mm. I want my edited version of that line back.
All right, so you got these two brothers that Woody Harrelson is kind of like in trouble and shit with gambling, and he always comes up with this scheme where he wants to do something, and they end up coming up with this idea to. Well, he comes up with this idea where he says, one day, hypothetically, we could rob the train.
Well, then from there, he starts like literally planning in his head every. There's a few scenes where it's like, that's where we'd go. And it's like, oh, okay.
You and then Wesley Snipes just kept telling him like, that's not gonna work.
Yeah,
like,
we ain't gonna do it.
So basically, what the money train is every I guess it's like every week or every month or whatever. It's the train that goes by and collects all the stops.
They didn't make that very clear though.
They didn't. Yeah.
But it was either. I thought it would be monthly.
It is all the transit money though.
Yeah. And I think on the holidays it was supposed to be more or something that they were hauling like extra load.
So they end up pulling in like a couple more millions or whatever. But so the idea gets in his head about they could rob the train, and then all of a sudden they meet their new partner J-Lo, Jenny from the Bronx, and the fun starts from there. So go ahead.
With J-Lo's character, isn't it funny how a spoiler? Near the end of the movie,
spoiler to a 1995 movie.
Yeah, she's like, "Your brother's in trouble. You need to go help him." And he's like, "Okay." And then she clearly knows they're on the train because of the whole police thing. She's like, "Oh, it's them." And by the end of the movie, she's like, "It's cool." Like, what the fuck? You just met these people.
It wasn't even. Like, it's cool. She was rooting for them to remember when it's like it's busted through the barrier on the radio, and she's like, "Oh, right, he." She's driving really fast.
She was rooting for him to get away because in her mind, she thought that they were actually getting away, and he was convincing his brother to drop it all.
By the way, you don't have a job, right? And spoiler for this is going to the very end. You don't have a job. Your brother just successfully stole $450,000, and he's going, "Let's go to the island, man. You and me." You're going to be like, "No."
No, fuck that.
I'd be like, "You know what, buddy?
Let's go.
It's cold. Let's get a cab back to your apartment. We'll gather the box full of shit that actually matters you own. Then we'll go to my nice place and we'll list it. And then we'll get the fuck out of here." Like, I'm sorry, but... And like you... And here, you do have to feel bad for Woody Harrelson, even though everything is self-inflicted. Like, he is a fuck-up.
Yeah.
He is.
And he's too dorky for J-Lo. So it's like, It's not Wesley Snipes' fault that she wants the dark chocolate instead of this pale-faced motherfucker. I'm just saying, Wesley Snipes in this movie is shredded lettuce, right? He's ripped to the T. He's cooler. He's not so dorky. He's got his shit together, i.e. a nice apartment. Like, he's got stable work. And once again, she can sense a fuck-up. So it's like, you're just going to be a friend. And what does he do? Throughout the entire movie, he proves that he is the fuck up.
Yeah. He does. Although it's funny that when he tries to do the right thing, a fucking grandmother rips him off. I couldn't.
When he's on his way to rectify shit and he gets fucking dipped, as they said in this movie.
Yeah, he got dipped. But that's the thing that I like about this is like he's the brother that's always fucking up, but he is fucking up for a reason. He because he feels in his eyes he's always gotten the shit end of the stick no matter what. So in his eyes, he's
from
like,
the foster home they were in.
Yeah,
like he was always the favorite,
right?
Or Snipes was always the favorite.
But so I also felt like from that perspective, I felt like he was okay with being the fuck up because he loves his brother and he wants to see him succeed.
It was almost like he knew that the understanding was he's a fuck up, therefore it enabled him to fuck up. Like, well, I'm the fuck up, so I might as well whatever. It's just me. I'm the gambler. It's that sort of mentality of like pity on me. And then you just continue to do stupid shit.
Mm-hmm.
But that one scene where he tells his brother, he's like, "Can't you just give it to me for once?" And he's like, "All right, you really want this?" And he does it, and you see that he's Wesley Snipes is a good brother to him.
Oh, he's an incredible brother to him.
But
I mean, he gives him $15,000
straight up.
Straight up.
Not just $15,000. It's $300 at the beginning.
Well, he saves his life, and then he's at the point where he's like, "I'm done with this motherfucker. He's a toxic person." Then he finds out he's in serious trouble and his life's been threatened, so he goes and fucking kicks the shit out of that entire chapter of the local thugs. And then you never hear from them again in the movie. They're done. He's
they're
just
done.
He went and he beat the shit out of everybody. They're like, you know what, 15 grand's not that bad to lose. It was only cards anyways. Yeah, he's the reason J-Lo goes to him is because of who he's badass. He's his brother's keeper. And that's the whole thing is J-Lo looks at him like a man and the other one like a little brother. I will give her credit though that she understands the bond between them enough to when he's like, nah, fuck that guy. She's like, nah, you can't just do that to him. Like her character's not bad in this at all. Like besides the I'm as tough as you, which I like when they're doing the little boxing, she calls him a fuck up and he sticks her. And he's like, oh yeah, sorry. I appreciate that where like the whole time, I mean, Wesley Snipes literally took out a room full of fucking mobsters, right? So like J-Lo's not gonna defeat him. I don't care how tough she is. Like, get over that fact. It's fucking fact. So I like the fact that they show that and I mean, why wouldn't you fall for Snipes over Harrelson in this one? For one thing, Woody Harrelson with hair just looks weird.
Oh, Jesus.
Lewis has said this numerous times. He doesn't like it,
well,
and that's why he's not here, because he's too scared to watch this movie.
The widow's that he has at such a young age is just weird.
Well, not only that, like, if you watch the movie and you watch his hairstyle throughout the movie, it's like they couldn't figure out what to do with it at some point.
Yeah, so they just stuffed it in where they could.
So
to
like
put
it in that hat that he's wearing behind you.
Well, because of how receded his hairline is, it's like a mullet. Like as it gets longer, it's like Woody Harrelson's version of a mullet out of just how his hair grows. It just looks weird. Like I think if you're gonna have him with hair, it should be the butch style from what's that Psycho movie he's in?
Natural Born Killers.
Natural Born Killers.
Because I was gonna say
he has
that fucking movie.
Don't you want the Ronald McDonald? I know you don't like. I like that movie. I like that movie a lot. I haven't seen it. I've seen all the cuts they have, and I prefer the ultra like whatever director's cut because it's the one where they at the end of it they got Tommy Lee Jones's head on a stick.
Yeah.
The one that they released for like that you could buy on VHS at first was the cut version where it didn't have that in there and some other stuff was out of it too.
Someday I might try to watch it, but fucking I still have bad memories of.
Why don't you like that movie again?
Do I have to say it?
I don't remember. I know you told us.
My cousin got in some trouble back in Michigan. He ended up living with us for a couple months, and his fucking roommate came with him. And he was supposed to go back to Michigan, but he stayed with us. And every fucking morning, he would watch they all stayed in my room, so he would watch fucking Natural Born Killers, and I'm sleeping, and he's like standing over me. Just fucking looking at me.
It's a weird movie to watch over and over on its own, but I mean, at this point, get a knife and stab the fucker to death because he ain't right. I believe.
Right. Now, when you said Ronald McDonald, did I call him that? Because
Giovanni mentioned his Venom from the first Venom introduction trailer, where he's like, "There's gonna be some carnage," and he's got the fucking Ronald McDonald had a bad day haircut.
Well, no.
So bad.
This
guy did look like a cross between Ronald McDonald and Moonface from Nightbreed. I don't know if you guys remember that, but
I do remember Nightbreed somewhat.
You know the Moonface guy that had the long head and shit.
Yeah,
and he looked like a fucking.
You say Moonface though, and I thought of Dick Tracy again for the second time in a few days. We about ready to give this thing some hot dogs. Let's do it. I'll go first. I really like this movie. I hadn't seen it in a long time, so I wasn't entirely sure how I was going to feel about it. It is an awesome movie. You could tell it's got a decent budget. The acting is, I mean, those guys are good. I mean, it is what it is. There's not it's well acted. I'm gonna give this an easy 4. It probably should be a little bit higher, but I don't want to go too crazy on the scale.
I'll go next. I picked this movie. I just wanted to see a buddy cop movie, and I remember Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes. I kept seeing that they were in this movie, and I was like, all right, I want to check it out. I really like it. It is a 4 for me. There's all the acting, like you said, is really good. One thing I did have a problem with is back then they didn't have the discipline in training, so like everybody's finger was in the fucking trigger of the guns. If you see when they're running around, every single person had their fucking finger in there. Especially the scene when they're being mugged by the fucking the street guys, and they pull the gun on each other.
I don't know if that was a lack of training though. I think because Brandon Lee died when? Like that's going to me determine whether it was a lack of training or by design. Because this came out in 95. I think he died in 94 filming Crow.
Yeah, 94.
Which you would imagine would have made every movie with guns so much more secure. So maybe the fact was they were using fake ass guns in this movie. Maybe they weren't. Maybe because Brandon Lee had passed because of the shooting, they were using fake guns to the point of it was all rubber. It didn't fucking matter or something.
There was probably a period of time where it was just.
Well, that's what they're talking about
movies.
doing now. There's a lot of sets that are saying they're no longer using live weapons. So I don't think CGI is. I think it's going to look like shit. I mean, there's ways to emulate gun. I mean, you can get fucking CO2 powered plastic pellet guns and paint them up that already look realistic enough. I mean, they got sniper rifles of these things that shoot at like 1,500 feet a second. That's incredible.
When I was driving, and I would always pick up this one guy that lived 2 blocks away from me. He was a video game designer. All they did was buy fucking plastic guns, and they would fucking sit there and spray paint the shit out of them, customize them to make them look real, and then they would use those as their fucking mock-ups for the video games.
Yeah.
And they would do their captures from that.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like I don't think CGI guns are the way to go.
No,
I mean, especially when you look at like CGI blood and how shitty that still looks. Like they've gotten better, but CGI blood still looks terrible. So, Alex, have you have not given your hot dogs yet?
Yeah, I did.
You did 4.
Yeah, 4.
Okay,
I'll go. I did like this movie. Great buddy cop movie. Woody and Wesley have great chemistry. You can tell
they really do. It's almost you kind of wish you would have seen them in a lot more stuff. Like I'd like to see a movie with the two of them in it now, like kind of reprising that same sort of brotherly relationship. Like, fuck, give me another movie like a buddy cop movie with the two of them at this age, or where they're on the way out, their retirement age, and something.
This is a really good weapon type deal.
I'd be okay with that.
That's true.
I'd also be okay with it if like. It would the perfect opportunity would have been True Detective when Woody Harrelson was in it. If it would have been true, it would have been Harrelson Snipes. That'd have been cool.
That would have been awesome.
Not to stop you from giving your shit, Johnny, but Woody Harrelson is still in pretty decent shape.
He's always kept himself in amazing shape.
And Wesley Snipes is in always in amazing shape.
Yeah, I mean he had a lot of time to push-ups. He had a few years of time on his hands.
So I think the two of them could still do like a good fucking movie.
And they're both still great actors. Like, one of the most disappointing parts of Blade is not casting him because like you could use the first two as the base, right? And then Blade
not 3?
Blade ages like a human, right? So from 1998 until now, he would look older, right? But he's kept in good shape. Like, why wouldn't you have continued that fucking storyline? Like, I don't get it. The Marvel comic unit, like, fuck Marshall Ali. Like, nothing against him, but why?
Marshall, he doesn't have the body I feel built for.
He's really skinny. I will say,
character.
He's amazing in the Green Book. Amazing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Amazing. He's not Blade. I don't give a fuck. I would have much, and people are going to say, oh, you blah, blah, blah. The fucking, what's his name? I can't remember his name. Spawn. Michael J. White. He's at the age range for Blade now. He's in his fucking 40s, almost 50s, I think. Like, I'm not saying go like fucking atypical and cast Michael B. Jordan, is that his middle name? B?
Yeah. He wouldn't be a good one though, because he's too young.
I still think if Anthony Mackie wasn't what's his face already, he'd have been an alright Blade.
Okay.
I like Anthony Mackie. I think he's a pretty great actor.
The new Captain America?
Yeah, that's right. He is the new Captain America, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean,
you're right. He's the right age,
spoiler alert,
right body build.
I haven't watched the Wanda show. I haven't watched an episode of Hawkeye.
It
sounds like I fucking have to because fucking Vincent D'Onofrio's in it as Kingpin. He was the greatest Kingpin. Nothing against Michael Clark Duncan. God rest his soul. God bless.
I'm gonna watch Spider-Man tomorrow, and that's gonna be the first Marvel movie.
I'm not even fucking joking. The moment one of those other Peter cocksucking Parkers pops out, you fucking text me. I want a confirmation. I'm dead fucking. You've got the theater rented out to yourself. Nobody's gonna bitch. You pull out the flip phone and you fucking say, it is confirmed these motherfuckers are in this movie. That's all I want to know. I'll wait patiently for whenever it hits Disney. And maybe I'll pay $30 to rent it. I don't know. Maybe. If all three of them are in it, I'll fucking definitely consider it, but I need that confirmation. You don't have to do it while you're watching the movie. Enjoy. But when you get out, as you're refilling your popcorn right before you go to your car, because everybody does that, if you get the large, just shoot me a text. Be like, you know what? They're all in it. I just want to know. I haven't looked up spoilers. I probably could just Google it, I suppose.
I haven't looked up spoilers.
I mean, how can they not be?
It would make no fucking
At this
sense.
point, how would you have interdimensional villains and not interdimensional Spideys? It makes no fucking sense not to have that.
They have to be in there.
Even if it's just like, okay, they're here for a few minutes. Although I did read a rumor, and I'm not going to say it because I don't.
Yes, please don't spoil.
Take off my headphones.
It was one little thing where it's like, if they're in it, one of the rumors of how they're brought into it, which is from what I've read a little atypical to what like we were thinking they just jump through a portal. If they're in it, it's more intricate than just like they come through a portal.
Okay. It would have to be, though, especially with everything going on.
Now, with this said, though, are they going to make a Sinister Six movie? They've got them all here. Are they going to lock them in the same dimension, in the same prison? And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, Sinister Six is a movie that's being greenlit? That's
what happened in the DC universe.
And the actors who played the original Green Goblin and Doc Ock, they're
the de-aging
totally
on
ready to
Defoe
rephrase
is pretty
their
top
role.
notch too. I will say Defoe keeps himself in good shape, but the de-aging on him from the trailer is pretty like, oh, okay, looks all right.
Looks good.
Now, but that's the other thing. Is Harry Osborn in it? I mean, I think it was already somewhat confirmed by the one Green Goblin that the one from Amazing Spider-Man's in it.
Yeah, because they can't use the other one because he's wasn't he Me Too'd?
Yep.
Yeah, he was Me Too'd.
Franco, yeah.
Yeah, they won't bring him in.
By the way, we should just have a segment at this point on this show. Why are we surprised pieces of shit are pieces of shit? Who in Hollywood didn't know Franco was a womanizing fucking whore?
Yeah,
if you already have that, right? He's already egotistical. We know he's a fucking egomaniac, right? So why would anybody be surprised that this egomaniac, who is a fucking womanizer, wouldn't use his egomaniacal power in Hollywood to put women in that situation?
Yeah.
Especially since Weinstein. How are we surprised? Like, they all know. They all fucking know. Let's be real. This isn't a secret to everybody knew Weinstein was doing fucking weird shit, especially the actresses who engaged in it and then were fucking stars. Like, let's be real. They all fucking knew.
Which is weird because I believe Snowpiercer that we just talked about is a Weinstein movie.
Yep.
You know what? I'm pissed off because...
And it's funny that you watched it because if you played it on Netflix, it tells you in the corner, January 1st, it's out.
I'm pissed off. The biggest issue with this whole Miramax licensing thing is Dogma. I can't get fucking Dogma because this guy was a piece of shit. Are you kidding me?
Good movie.
Like, why hasn't Kevin Wright? Kevin Smith. He's got fucking money. Buy the fucking rights. Distribute it yourself. I'll buy it from your website for $10. Like, enough. Movie. Put your fucking money where your mouth is, you little worm. You know, they've got the rights. It's out of my... Is it? Because you've got enough money to fucking... How much is the Dogma rights going to cost from the fucking fucked up Miramax Corporation, which is being dissolved to nothing since Weinstein?
Mm-hmm.
Really? You can't buy the licensing? Really? Fuck off.
I imagine they'll take any amount at this point for it, too.
I mean, literally offer them a fucking $1 million. You know how much you would make from the sales if the movie hasn't been available since it came out on DVD when it first fucking came out?
Not even on Blu-ray, right?
Can't get it. There is no Blu-ray being made. There's never been a Blu-ray made. DVDs are going for hundreds of dollars because they're not in print anymore. Not available digitally at all. There's no YouTube versions of the fucking thing. Like, it's a cash cow that nobody's, all because of it's Miramax. It's like, this is fucking stupid.
Got a great performance from Alan Rickman from fucking Ben Affleck.
One of his best performances. Matt Damon being the one of the archangels ripping people to pieces. God being Alanis Morissette.
Yeah.
And the whole scene at the end when she blows the head off of him with her fucking God power is just It's amazing. Like, that whole movie, it's one of his best written movies ever. Buddy Jesus?
Mm-hmm.
And you can't
Buddy Christ?
Yeah, Buddy Christ, and you can't fucking watch it. Unless you got an old DVD or VHS if you happen to buy it when it came out. It's like, what the fuck?
DVD, yeah,
I know I have a VHS of it for sure.
It's in my Disney vault in the basement.
Yeah, that's I don't know. All right, we've all given scores on the. Giovanni, do you have anything to wrap up?
Giovanni hasn't finished. No, Giovanni hasn't finished.
A solid 4 hot dogs.
A little bit of a weird tangent. We'll be right back with our final piece de la resistance. End of Days, starring Arnold Strong.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Jericho Kane, world's fakest name, but almost one of the coolest. All right. And we're back. Finally, we're reviewing this fucking movie. End of Days.
And it's not Halloween.
It's not, well, it's a New Year's Eve movie. They even reference Y2K several times.
Several.
It's a theme. Like, basically, they reference Y2K as much as movies being made now are going to reference COVID.
Yeah.
Yep. You know, that sort of thing. It was that big. Before we go into what it is, quick cast. Schwarzenegger, of course. You've got Robin Tooney as Christine. Giovanni and I were talking, basically, Christine's like just fucking stupid in this movie. She's just a dumb she's like a modern day stupid, immature millennial that like is just never had to fend for themselves, and then all of a sudden
she was sheltered.
Very much, by the Satanists.
For a reason, yeah. She was sheltered for a reason.
She played the role
so maybe
very well.
Maybe that's the whole thing. Is she just okay.
It wasn't by her design. It wasn't because she was just fucking.
But
stupid.
I mean, she was still able to go out in the world.
Was she though? Because she's like literally on a subway, and the dude's like, "He's gonna fuck you, Christine. He's gonna fuck you, Christine." Mm-hmm. And then he turns into shattered glass. Like, what the fuck, shit?
He was pretty fucking creepy, dude.
Yes, he was
creepy.
He was, yeah.
And that wasn't the first time you saw him. He was seen before.
Yeah. He was on the street and as the bum. I'm just saying, if I'm on the subway and that dude comes up to me and he's like, he's gonna fuck you, Matt. He's getting punched dead in the fucking mouth. And if he doesn't go down, he's getting fucking stomped. I'm not with his weird prodigy haircut and shit. I'm not fucking doing it.
But the funny thing is, everybody else that's seeing you, you're fucking swinging at air.
Yeah, it's just wait me, bitch.
He's not there.
Fuck, nobody's fucking me. Gabriel Byrne.
Like, who is he? Are you he?
I'm accidentally like backfisting fucking old women in the face.
Yeah,
like,
are you he?
You him? He's not fucking me. You're not fucking me. Just losing the cops come. Oh, you want to fuck me, don't you? Gabriel Byrne as Satan, which is such a good. He's so awesome as Satan in this movie.
But in IMDb he is known as the Man.
So in Wiki it shows Satan / the banker. By the way, the scene when he first takes over his body, it's all goofy in the bathroom because it's Gabriel Byrne with cheesy CG. And then he comes out and molests the chick, and then she fucking blows up the whole restaurant.
Yeah.
He was about theatrics though, that, you know.
I do appreciate the Rob Zombie in there when he's walking on all the fucking manholes with the pentagrams and the Baphomets, and it's like Super Beast. Also, I love this movie. And I know we're still going over the cast, but scenes like the skateboarder, who actually is credited as Johnny Bogris is his name in Wiki, where he bumps into him and he's like, kid, and
nice shirt.
And he just whispers that, hey kid. The thing about that they don't elaborate on is it's not because he's the devil that the kid's able to hear him. It's because the kid's already one of his souls. Mm-hmm. That's the thing, is he's already fallen to the darkness and is now owned by Satan. So when he says, hey kid, he's talking to a follower. And that's how he's able to, that's the weird thing that they do. There's a couple of those parts in this movie that they don't elaborate a ton on, but it is kind of neat. It's also, you're really loosely playing with religious concepts. But
also, if you're paying attention, that very much comes through when he's dealing with Arnold in his apartment. Because Arnold's character isn't as influenced by him.
One of the greatest lines in any Arnold movie is in his house when he's just like, you think you're bad. And he starts it off just, you think you're bad, huh? And then eventually, you're bad? You're a fucking choir boy, come back to me. A choir boy. And he's literally just like, Oh, here we go. And then he runs him through his family's murder, and the whole time,
Yeah.
this doesn't have to happen. I can change all this. He took him from you. That wasn't me. That concept, too, of the he's always, that was him, not my work.
Mm-hmm.
A very cool take on the concept of like, the Satan's just like, no. I give. He takes. I give you your family back. He took them. I can give them back to you. Like, and then offers him his hand to rule the world. Like, join me. Like, it was, can you imagine?
But
he was fucking, what's his name from Star Wars? Come, sit next to me.
Yeah, he was the emperor type.
He was the emperor.
Very much.
In very many, in a lot of movies where the devil is played as walking the earth or amongst man, the conversation that Gabriel's character has with Arnold about the Bible and about the concept of God versus him and how he's not really the bad guy.
No, he paints it basically like that's him. All that stuff that's him, not me. I give. I'm a nice guy.
Yeah. But it's very accurate to his character. Most people playing Lucifer most people playing Lucifer in other movies don't have this concept of like, this is the reality.
He's the devil, but he's also, there's cunning and there's charm and there's wit and there's intelligence. He's
got the forked tongue. He's got that
Gabriel Byrne, to his credit, plays this fucking role to a T. Just that sort of like that bravado that comes along with being the fallen angel.
Ugly motherfucker, but he's taken the wife and the daughter, the mom
and then turns him into one.
And turns him into one.
Fucking Udo Kier's family. By the way, Udo Kier is such a weird role, like, choice for this movie. Like, this is like his, besides Blade, probably one of his highest profile movies.
How many of you were waiting for CCH Ponder's arm to fucking blow off?
Dude, fuck CCH Pounder. I like the fact that, like, and that's the other thing is, like, Satan just walks around and, like, brings people back.
Yeah.
He's just like, no, I need you. Come on up. You're back. With Kevin Pollak, like, he literally pisses oil or gasoline or whatever it is. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah. That's really all of the notables we talked about. I mean, you got Kevin Pollak is his buddy, Bobby Chicago. What a terrible fucking name.
Yeah.
Rod Steiger's father, Kovac. He did a good job. He's a good actor in it. CCH Pounder. Udo Kier, who you know him from a lot of B movies. He was one of the purebred vampires in Blade. He's been in a bunch of different shit, though, to be honest.
He was the priest in the chair, right? Or no?
No, Udo Kier
was Mark Margolis.
Udo Kier was the main doctor, main Satanist guy. The one, the husband to the wife daughter.
He was he was the bad guy. Okay.
He's the one in Blade that they ripped the fangs out of and let him burn to death in the sun.
Yeah. Because he was a purebred.
Yeah, and so they light up. So I will say this, for the first time ever, I think I would have preferred this casting. Liv Tyler was once in contention for the role of Christine.
Okay.
Which I think she would have done better.
Tyler would have been better.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I didn't like Christine at all, to be honest with you. I don't like her acting, and it was just, I don't know. I think Liv Tyler would have played that kind of dopiness a little bit better too, I think.
It was the actress. I felt, she was just off for the role. It was really weird.
Was this right after she was in The Craft, and that's why they picked her?
She's in The Craft?
Yeah.
Oh, she is in The Craft.
So I just read an alternate ending.
No, she was an Empire Record.
Bro, 10-year-old Matt would have been so much happier with this ending. Jericho dies. Christine tearfully embraces his body and thanks him for saving her life. Suddenly, God removes the sword from Jericho's body and heals his wounds, bringing him back to life. Christine is surprised and glad Jericho is back. They embrace before leaving the church together. That
would have been a better role.
As an adult, I'm like, I don't know, that's a cheesy wrap-up ending. Like, but as a kid, I've been like, Schwarzenegger doesn't die. Give me that one.
So yeah, this is off the heels of Empire Records and then The Craft, and then she went straight into End of Days. So this is like a 2-year difference.
But to her, I don't know. She was better in The Craft, clearly.
The
Craft, I love that movie. That's
I haven't seen that movie in years and don't remember liking it, to be honest with you.
I do like that movie. In this movie, though, she's just so ditz. She's too ditzy.
I do want to point out the. Sorry, go on. Sorry,
that
what word?
No, I can't say that word. Never mind.
Uh-oh.
The R word. You know how you play the R word?
Yeah.
You don't want to go too R word?
Yeah, you don't want to go full.
You don't want to be Ben Ben Stiller?
Lewis says that word all the time. He's got no shit. Yeah, you don't want to go the Ben Stiller route. So the budget was $100 million and it made 220, but that was 212 worldwide. And a lot of that came off of DVD sales as well. It only grossed $67 million in the United States.
Yeah.
So it didn't.
What was the budget again?
Didn't $100 million.
$100 million.
Okay.
I mean, that's also with Schwarzenegger's $25 million off the top, plus his fucking money he took off of every other movie after that.
Yep.
Yeah, the director Peter Hyams. I don't know what else he's directed, to be honest with you. So he directed. No shit. Okay. He directed Running Scared with Billy Crystal and Gregory Hines.
Oh.
He directed Time Cop.
Okay.
He directed Sudden Death.
Ooh, okay.
He directed the Relic and End of Days.
I don't remember The Relic.
I don't remember it either, but I remember the movie itself. I don't remember how it was, though, to be honest.
The Musketeer?
Did he?
The Musketeers, if it's the one I'm thinking, it's really good. I love that movie.
This one,
So End of Days was his highest grossing film to date. You know they made a quasi reboot remake of Sudden Death? It's got Michael J. White. It's a B movie and it's called Welcome to Sudden Death or some shit.
Is it Michael J. White or is it Michael J. White?
J. I don't really give a fuck. Well, whatever the fuck I want.
All right, so this is the Musketeer. This is the reboot thing or whatever with Mina Survivor. So never mind. This is a shitty one.
No shit. So he contributed cinematography to his son's effort. His son directed Universal Soldier Regeneration, and it's the one Universal Soldier movie sequel, the third one that came out with Jean-Claude Van Damme and what's his face back in it?
Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah, and the fight choreography is actually really good in that fucking movie.
Is that the one with Randy Couture? Wasn't he in one?
No, Andrei Arlovsky.
Andrei Arlovsky.
Yeah,
somebody from UFC.
Yeah, it's actually, he directed Beyond a Reasonable Doubt, A Sound of Thunder, which I think is a documentary. So this movie it's a New Year's Eve movie. Literally, it's basically Christmas trees and everything are still up, but it was the Y2K paranoia. So on the radio, it's being mentioned. You're going to destroy every computer in existence. The radio DJ.
The radio DJ kind of reminded me of a Groundhog Day.
Well, I mean, so this movie, it was nominated for Razzies. I love this movie. I think there's so many badass scenes in this fucking movie.
Oh yeah.
It starts off with them chasing a priest who has cut his own tongue out, who's basically, saying what's coming. The end of days are coming. Some really brutal, some really brutal scenes in this movie.
Dude, the scene where he gets his ass whooped and then instead of killing him, they crucify him.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit.
Just when he's hanging outside the fucking window and his hands go through the fucking...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My hands. They're bleeding. He does pull himself up and then just wraps it in a sheet he tore off, too. It's like, you don't have a fucking little med kit. But he's told... And this is Schwarzenegger, close to, he's in his late 40s. Close to his 50s, but he's still... This was his last, in my opinion, last good movie in the theater.
Last big budget.
What came after this? What was the next movie?
The Sixth Day, which I like that movie, but it's a cheeseball B movie. And there was Collateral Damage, which was supposed to be out around 9/11, but because of it got pushed back to 03 or 02. He didn't really do much after that because he went into the governor race and all that, and he stopped doing it. So
he became the governor.
Yeah, this really is his last big budget Schwarzenegger cool movie, and it's arguably one of his only horror action movies. Because there's scenes of stuff when the woman that watches over her fucking pushes the entire grand piano into him.
Oh yeah,
did you see her hand?
Yeah,
she was pretty strong.
It had nails and shit, her claws and.
There's just so many good fucking scenes in this movie, dude. It goes into the weird kind of religious occult of it, where they show this woman's going through stigmata, and the priest is like, "These are forces you possibly couldn't comprehend," And he's got that cheesy line of like, when it comes to your God or my 9mm, I choose my 9mm. And it's just like, ugh. Some of those lines nowadays when I'm older are so cheesy. But when I was a kid, it's like, yeah, I choose my 9mm too. Like, it's that sort
They
of
were trying to do like Running Man with like Stigmata. They tried to combine, like you said, Stigmata.
Well, his breakfast.
Dude,
beer, the pizza,
even
the protein.
Pizza off the floor.
It was the Pepto-Bismol that got me. Like,
they do start the movie.
Is that what got you?
They do start the movie with a gun in his mouth, though. Like, it's one of the few roles where he starts off in a weird spot. Like, you don't see many Schwarzenegger movies where he's thinking about suicide.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole story, if we haven't gone over it enough, is basically his family, due to him being a police officer and testifying against a certain case, they murdered his family, his wife and daughter. He's lonely, constantly considering suicide. The only reason he really exists anymore is because he's on the job. But at this point, he's not a cop, or he is a cop, or is he private?
They're private security.
They're private security for rich people. So he's not even a cop anymore. He's a drunk. He's an alcoholic. And basically, the devil comes to town to start the end of days. This girl who has since birth has been marked by Satan essentially as the one to bear his children. And Schwarzenegger's kind of caught up in the middle of it, to where he has actual interactions with Satan and he battles him. And that whole scene where in the fucking subway where he shoots him with the grenade launcher and he's just sitting there in like the decomposing body, and he's like, "You think this will stop me? This is nothing but a shell," and becomes there's so many, like the train scene at the end where it's fucking Satan's coming through just destroying the entire car. Like, I don't know, man, the movie's badass. I love this fucking movie.
This is great. And it was in the vein of this very much reminded me of Constantine. Not the movie Constantine, but the concept of Constantine. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was in Constantine, it was a failed religious man who came back to his roots. In this one, it was a failed officer who
all right, I just want to say this. Roddy Piper is still alive and he's ripped. What do you think? How do you think he would have been in this role?
Instead of Arnold?
I don't think he would have did as good, because Roddy Piper was a good actor. I don't think he could have done it.
So who could have done this role then, if not Schwarzenegger? I've never thought about this until now, and who do you throw in the role of Jericho? He doesn't need to be ripped, mind you.
He doesn't. Yeah, I feel like he has to be polar opposite.
I don't know about polar opposite. In
terms of like body.
You could also get, the but the part of this movie that is weird is it's basically Max Payne.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's Max Payne infused with this story of Satan coming to town. So it's like, I would have loved a proper Max Payne movie. Let me direct the fucking thing. I'll give you a movie that's the video game plus. Like, that's the thing is, this story is Max Payne with Satan, which is another reason why I love it. You don't have a good Max Payne movie, go watch Jericho Kane talk to Satan. It's as close as it gets. But that's the whole story is family gets wiped out and Satan basically comes to town and he's like, I can give him back. I didn't take him. That was him. I'll give him right back to you. You just got to walk with me. And it's that concept of like, would you rather rule a ruined world, or would you rather be a slave to a perfect society? And that's that whole concept he gives him is like, you want to rule, you want to kneel to him, or you want to be a king with me? I can do that. It's
you know what I love about his character in this movie too, where like either way, God or the devil, he doesn't give a shit.
No, he's literally in the middle. Just yesterday morning, he was going to kill himself.
Make sure she survives.
Yeah. Her not boring these children basically becomes his fucking only goal in life.
Whether he believed it or not, he was just going to save her.
And the ending does give him probably he gets a happy ending, even though he dies. He is reunited with his family. Like they went to heaven. He's clearly not going to hell. He just sacrificed himself to stop the end of days. So he's going to be reunited with him. I always found it stupid though. At the end, he's like 3 seconds away from midnight. Like you literally, the time it took you to jump onto the sword, you could have just sat there. And like it would have been over. Like you didn't have to sacrifice yourself.
Hold, brothers.
Like literally, he could have done like that weird Schwarzenegger. Like so Schwarzenegger, when he's being taken over by Satan, is the same as Schwarzenegger in Terminator 3 when he's taken over by the robot woman and he's like, I am a machine. It's the same, like, sort of like.
It was also the same of when he was coming out of the what's it called, Total Recall.
You blew my cover.
The female thing.
You blew my cover.
No,
I haven't inserted it yet.
When he was the woman, when he was coming out.
Yeah, and then he was taking the head off.
Yeah, he's still got this like Schwarzenegger has this weird thing of he likes to shake in some movies. I don't like.
Or when he's exposed to Mars' atmosphere.
Yeah, any part in Running Man is pretty ludicrous, but still, or Total Recall, but still is such a good fucking movie.
I love that movie.
Yeah, I don't have a ton more to say. I love this movie. For me, I'm gonna be straight up. It's a 5. Maybe it's partly nostalgia. Sure, I'll accept it, but I love this fucking film. Easy 5.
I'll go next. For me, this is a 5. And it's because I do like Arnold action movies, but I also love when movies take the lore, when they do it in the lore of the Bible or religion. This one does a very good job from the evil aspect, from Lucifer's aspect. He stays very true to his character.
Yeah.
He's very real about what he wants and the difference between him and God. And you don't see that in a lot of movies where the person playing Lucifer kind of gets a little wacky, a little bit more monstrous.
Almost cartoonish sometimes, too, where it's like, I'm Satan.
Yeah, that's true.
So for me, I really enjoyed the movie. I do remember seeing a lot of it as I was watching it. I was like, okay, I do remember this. I don't remember the entire ending, so like, I guess I've never seen it. You know, like the ending until today. I actually finished watching it today.
I'm gonna fuck you, Christine.
But it's gonna. I'm sorry, I'm going against you guys. It's gonna be a 4 for me. I do like the movie. I really do like it. It's not that I fucking didn't like everything about it. It's just there was just something about I kept seeing Detective John Kimball as this guy, but he was good. He was still good in this role. He was still he was still good in the role. But
I mean, this is his like real last big budget to theater movie, and before this, I think it was Eraser.
Was it?
I think he went from Eraser to this. Like, so it was like, what the fuck? Schwarzenegger's in a weird horror action movie.
But yeah, it's definitely a 4 for me, and I do like it. So I like I said, I'm going against you guys a little bit, but it's not because I hated it anyway. But
I'm straight up. I'm sure my childhood nostalgia is a big part of why, but I love this movie. It's one of those movies that is made in that '90s era, that '90s vein. A lot like Money Train. I mean, I like them both for the same reasons. I think of it's just like there's a certain feel these movies have that a lot of movies don't have anymore. Like there's a certain cinematography point of view and the way they made these movies that they don't do it anymore. You know, you don't see those wide sweeping shots of the city. I mean, this movie's got footage of the city via a helicopter. Like,
yep,
it's just a certain
even rooftop fucking action.
Yeah, it's I can't. I mean, besides the Marvel movies, what explosive action movies are coming out like this anymore?
Although Arnold supposedly connected to a helicopter flying above a roof, and you can clearly see it's the fucking
the CG in that part's terrible. And then the part where like he's falling down and then catches it and doesn't break his back. Okay.
Well, also one of the guys that's the bad guy is I guess the steroids make me deaf guy from Running Man.
That's his longtime training partner.
Yeah. He's actually one of the bad guys in this movie too.
Yep, that's his longtime training partner. That's him. Yeah, I love seeing that guy in movies. He was in the one movie. I don't remember what it was that we were watching, but he was just a totally random extra, just like in the crowd. And I was like, it's that fucking guy. All right, we're gonna wrap this up. This is the New Year's Eve. Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year.
Here's to another continued year of more reviews, more content. Check out the channel. Bunch of fun stuff going up there. Check out Twitch, Nerdattude, and we'll be seeing you guys next year with some new stuff. We're going to take a couple weeks off. Enjoy time with your family and whatnot, and then we'll see you guys mid-January.
Good night.
Right. Happy New Year.
Day, night.